Absolutely. I mean, the benefits are incredible. So one, if you set it up right and you do short-term rentals or whatever's good in your particular market, the cash flow can be incredible. We're getting without any debt, we're getting 14, 15% cash on cash returns on our short term rentals. But because we're buying these properties at such a discount, we're improving them and then refinancing them, we're pulling almost all of the cash out that we put into these properties. So the cash on cash we're getting, there's like 65% returns, which is just
Wow.
astronomical. So if you can just repeat that and just stay focused and do it over and over, you can start building up that passive income really, really quickly.
Welcome to the Sharpen the Spear podcast, where we help home service pros cut through the noise, sharpen their business tools, and reclaim the profit, freedom, and impact they've been missing. I'm your host, Richard Walsh, Profit Freedom Coach, and I'm here to help you stop grinding and start growing. Let's sharpen the spear. And we are back on STS Sharpen the Spear podcast with another incredible guest. I've got Scott Durham with us today. And as always, Scott, no one knows Scott as well as Scott. So Scott, we need a little backstory, bring us up to speed. And this is going to be a great conversation, kind of a first on the show. I think it's going to be a first on the show. So this extra excitement.
Excellent. Thanks,
Scott. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Richard, for having me on. I appreciate it. My name is Scott Durham. I've been in real estate business for 20 years now. I started as an agent. I morphed into an investor. So we fix and flip houses. We hold Airbnbs for passive income. So we're building that passive income stream up. We've got a great income coming in. We don't necessarily have to keep working, so we enjoy it, but it's certainly nice to have that income coming on the side so that it is a choice rather than a must do. I got started coming out of school. I was actually worked at the front desk at a hotel, and I thought it was so super special because they bought me a cell phone where they could pay me $10 an hour and they could reach and get a hold of me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, morning, noon, or night. And I thought it was really special because they bought me a cell phone and I could always be on call. Until I found out, say, hey, wait a minute, they're calling me at 2 a.m. making $10 an hour. This doesn't exactly add up. And so why don't I start to look into other avenues? Someone talked to me about real estate. I figured, hey, if I could sell one house, I could probably make as much money in a year, one or two houses, as I could working like mad at the front desk. So it's kind of been a morph from hotel desk clerk to real estate agent to top performing agent to now scaling back, doing less deals, getting some of my time back, doing fix and flips, and then holding on to those certain ones that make sense for Airbnb, which generate incredible passive, semi-passive, mostly passive returns for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really, when you get into it, so that's where we're going to dive into this stuff too, Scott. But really, when you think about it, like this is kind of the goal, and a lot of people are kind of tentative about it. They want it, they hear about it. This is why I'm kind of, I'm excited to have you on because I'm big on real world application. Okay.
Yeah.
People talk a lot about stuff and that's all they do. They talk about it. I need someone who's done it, how to do it, right? And now we don't have to get in the weeds on the how-tos, but like you need to know, like, what does it actually look like? Is this a doable thing? Even from what we use that side hustle kind of thing, but it's something you can do in parallel with an existing business.
Definitely.
That's the power of it, right? Like, let's talk about that a little bit because the majority of my listeners, they're working. Okay. They're building homes. They're doing plumbing. They're doing air conditioning. They're
God bless
whatever. Them. They're doing all this, right? So they can do things. Right. That's why I think this is such a good matchup and they may already, hey, yeah, I worked on this house and flip and it's probably like anything. The first one, I don't know how well it's going to go. Anything we do that are new, I know I don't. I have pretty low expectations on things.
Yeah, but you get started. That's the thing, and the education that you get from just doing it is priceless. Even if you don't make $1 million the first time out of the chute.
Yeah, it's important to understand that, but really, kind of what does it look like? Because let's talk a little bit of process, okay? Because you kind of you did the full ladder from that agent all the way up to now. Basically being an investor, right? Flipper, all that stuff, doing the Airbnbs and things. So most of the people probably listening are going to be skipping the be an agent. They're going to skip that. No, whoa. Yeah, that's, I'd rather be sweating pipe all day than doing that. Right.
Right.
So, but let's talk about like what that kind of looks like running parallel with their business. what it could
Yeah,
look
so
like.
if I was someone that was working in the trades, gosh, what an incredible advantage to have. So you would start, you don't necessarily have to go and deal with sellers directly. You can make it a lot easier on yourself. The last few deals we found have either been through real estate agents or just literally finding homes that are on the market. You can go onto Zillow or Realtor, or any one of these websites, and there are homes, if you are able to look at it on a consistent basis over time, you will find good deals, deals that you can flip on there. And we set up little keyword searches lists. A quick tip, like for keywords in the listing description, such as TLC or cash only or investor sale, and then or fixer upper. These are perfect for your audience because these are deals where they've identified, hey, we're likely to sell at a discount because we know that the house needs work. So if they can come in there, do some of the work themselves or hire some of it out, this is something absolutely you can do part-time. You don't have to quit your job. In fact, don't quit your job. Keep doing what you're doing. Make sure that you got your bills covered, money's still coming in, and build this up on the side. And you'll be amazingly surprised that if you stick with it over the long haul, you can make six figures in a year plus, even part-time, doing on the side. It doesn't take that many deals. If you do 2, 3, 4, 5 flips a year, I mean, my average profit is $50,000 to $75,000 per flip. So depending on your market, depending on what you're doing, it doesn't take that many deals to build up a great income.
Right. And I really like that because I think it's, as we work so hard in our businesses, what I've learned over the years, especially coaching people and everything else, is they're not, first of all, they're not really making an exit plan. They don't really have one, right? They're doing this till whatever. They check
Yeah,
out or they get tired, think they're going to sell it. But I always remind them, like, listen, you have an active business income. So whether you make 100,000 a year or 500,000 a year, doesn't matter. Make 1 million a year. Like eventually, if you stop your business, you sell it, you exit, you lose that money.
the
That
hamster
money
wheel
now,
stops. Yes,
that's right. That money's not coming in. So you gotta. Let's say you want to get out in 10 years. Well, what am I going to need a month to replace what I'll be making? If I'm making $1 million a year in my business, I sell it. Well, I need 83,000 a month coming in passively.
passively. That
Okay,
takes some
like
work.
that's some work, right? But in
Yeah,
10 years, you can do that if you're
sure.
focused, right? So that's the whole point of this. Like, because there's a lot of investment vehicles out there. This is just one, right? But these are some tangible assets, right?
Yes,
And I have some friends who did really well when they have 300 plus properties, right? And I talked to them. I go, well, if things get tighter, I can always sell a single family.
that's right.
I can put 80,000,
Yep,
100,000 in my pocket,
yep.
right? Continue to operate, still have X amount of homes left, right? So there's a lot of kind of upside advantages to owning, again, real estate.
Absolutely. I mean, the benefits are incredible. So one, if you set it up right and do short-term rentals or whatever's good in your particular market, the cash flow can be incredible. We're getting without any debt, we're getting 14, 15% cash on cash returns on our short-term rentals. But because we're buying these properties at such a discount, we're improving them and then refinancing them, we're pulling almost all of the cash out that we put into these properties. So the cash on cash we're getting, there's like 65% returns, which is just
Wow.
astronomical. So if you can just repeat that and just stay focused and do it over and over, you can start building up that passive income really, really quickly.
Yeah. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know on this, but it's not a complicated process. You just need a consistency. Is that what you're saying?
That's been my key to success in everything in life is not get distracted by the shiny object. You got to obviously do some research, go on YouTube, listen to great podcasts, and do your research, but and pick a plan. But once you pick it, stick with it. You can't do it for a week or a month. You've got to stick with it over time because consistency is the key to success and everything. And I found that out in my life just because for the longest time, I wasn't consistent. I would jump from here to there. First, we look at mobile homes, then we look at apartments, then we look at commercial, then we're going to do this and that. Because everything looks good. And when you're first looking at it, you're super excited. You only see the easy part of it. And then before reality sets in, right? Kind of the buzz wears off. So just pick something and stick with it. And that's how you find success.
Yeah, I have to agree. Even in the gym, it's the same thing. Going to work
Gosh,
out, you can't go there once a week and think you're going to get fit,
wouldn't that
right?
be
So,
nice?
yeah,
Yeah.
we all hope, Well, unless it's the first 3 weeks of January, because it
Right.
must
You can be
work
there
for
with all
everyone
your
because they
friends.
stop coming. They must have reached their fitness level in 3 weeks, and
Oh
they got to
yeah.
get
They're
on
on
that
fire.
program. They just
Yeah.
stop.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's so with this as you is it like a lot of things begin to compound?
It
So you start with
compounds.
that one, you get it, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got the routine. I'm consistent. I know what I'm looking for. You find that because I know different real estate investors, and they all kind of have their kind of sweet spot, what they're looking for. Hey, I'm looking
Yep.
for a 2 to 3 bedroom
Yep.
ranch,
Yep.
with a 4 pitch roof. They're looking for certain things because they know, like, okay, for upkeep, it's really easy because I'm not
Right.
dealing with steep pitches, and they're really good at it, right? And that's because they've been doing it for a long time. Maybe they have some commercial as well, but I think once people start to understand it and they kind of get in there, now they get really good at finding exactly what they want, right? Because they've learned from the previous ones.
Yeah, just it. And then the benefits we were talking about earlier, it's not just the cash flow. You've got appreciation. I mean, if you look at a chart, 10 years, pick any 10-year period and see, and the appreciation is just incredible. And with the leverage that you can have in real estate that gets compounded, and also the tax benefits. If you spend enough time in real estate as a real estate investor, the tax benefits are incredible. And it looks like in this new Trump tax bill that they're about to put out, they're bringing back what's called 100% bonus depreciation, which means that you can write off, you purchase a house, you can write off an incredible amount of money. So this is how like all the big guys do it, is that they reduce their taxes, they improve their cash flow, and they buy assets that hold them for long-term wealth. So kind of how I'm doing is I do the flips. It's quick income. We're making $50,000, $75,000 at a clip. We take that money, what we don't pay our bills with, we put into, more passive investments, and it just compounds over time. And like you said, the more you do it, the easier that it becomes. You start to build a reputation. Your name starts to get out there. You're known as someone that does what they say they're going to do. You're going to be honest. You're going to close on the deals. You're reliable. You're going to be fair. You're going to treat people with respect and love. That's how you do it. But it does take a little bit of time.
Yeah, but so does everything. So
Everything worthwhile,
yeah, I
right?
told you, if you've been on the earth for any amount of time, you
Yep.
realize that there's no overnight stuff. So I just love it from a strategy standpoint. Again, in business, to start to create that, because we work so hard in our business to grow this thing and build it. When you really start doing it right, you start to like what I help them do is find more profit in their business, right? They're
Nice.
leaving a
Yeah.
lot on the table. Now you've got this additional profit. Well, you got to do something with it. It looks
Right.
cool on the table, big pile
Good
of
problem
money,
to have,
but
but it's
it's
a
not
problem.
making you anymore. It needs to go
Right.
make babies. It's time to go make babies. So it's like that's the kind of stuff, like, it's finding these vehicles that are kind of in your wheelhouse. Again, you're a hands-on guy, you're a craftsman, whatever, and this stuff can do it. And I've watched a lot of guys succeed in really big ways just over time. Who I found out, Scott, was, who does this a lot, even just the home investing, not kind of the flips are really getting the rentals. Teachers.
Yes.
Teachers do this,
Yes.
like, it's one a year, two a
Yeah.
year. So all of a sudden they got 7, 10 homes, 15 homes, right? And they're like getting all this income, and th're like, well, I make an extra 70,000 a year
That's just
just
it. You
by,
buy one or
yeah,
two a year, and in 10 years, oh my goodness, you're in incredible shape.
right, right.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
do it over your summer break or whatever.
yeah, but this is how we have to think, right? Because I'll tell you, from me in the beginning, it was like, you feel a little overwhelmed. It seems like I'm buying like $100,000 house, a $200,000 house, a
Yeah.
50,000, like we've got, it's just, but you're like, that seems complicated. Okay. It seems like a big undertaking. I mean, I remember I first bought my second house. I'm like, the hoops I had to jump through. I'm like, you got to
Yeah.
do this for every house? But that was not the case. No, you don't. Okay. I found out, like, you don't have to go through. I think I went through the worst process known to man at the time. That was
Right.
horrible, especially
Right.
being self-employed. Now you're really
Goodness.
treated like dirt. Okay.
Don't I know it? Yeah.
You need twice as much money to
Right.
come up with.
Right.
It was interesting, but I just think the reason why I want you on, just kind of sharing this, to know that it's not like you snap your fingers and it happens, but the process, the different ways you can do things are relatively simple.
It is. Yeah. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So, the more it comes second nature to you now. I mean, I remember the first time I bought a flip, gosh, I was so nervous that the title agent was like, "Hey, Scott, are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "No, what do you mean? I'm fine." I'd even seen that. I think I was nervous, but it was apparent. And now I'm just like, go in. I don't even halfway read the papers I'm signing. We're just like, "Hey, come on, when are we close? Let's go. Let's get on to the next one."
Yeah.
So I just built that confidence. And I will say that's the one thing that holds so many people back is that fear. it keeps them feared, so they get lost in that analysis paralysis. They'll start analyzing a deal forever to make sure that they're getting a perfect deal. You're not going to find a perfect deal. There's no such thing as a perfect deal, especially your first time out. You just got to go do your research and make a smart decision, but do one. And then even if you don't make a ton of money that first one out of the chute, that education you're going to get is going to make it priceless. And then just like Richard's saying, that next one is going to become so much easier. You're going to feel so much better about it. You're going to be so much more confident. You're going to just going to go well, but you can't get to that second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, 100th property without doing the first one.
Yeah, it is that. Like I said, I did like a 3-day seminar.
Yeah.
I learned you just fire hosed for 3 days. Okay. You're just, holy cow. But for me, Scott, it was like, look at all the different ways to do this. See, people think like there's not only one way, there's a gazillion ways.
That's part of the problem.
Oh, it's part of the problem, but it also you can find what works for you.
Exactly.
You're not stuck with one way or the highway.
That's just it. That reminds me, when I first became a real estate agent, it's like I signed up for this coaching program. It was $1,000 a month. And this was almost 20 years ago. So it's a lot of money now. It's even more money then. But they were kind of pigeonholing me into this one, like high pressure sales, cold calling, and I tried and it wasn't for me. I could not get myself to do it. There was even a time I remember I was a young kid. I drove up to the seller's house and I had to go through this presentation that they had formatted for me line by line. I was so nervous that I just kept driving. I didn't even go into the appointment. I'm working all this time as fellas. I said, no, I just can't do this. This wasn't for me. So it wasn't until as an agent, as an investor, I found that method that worked for me. Not that there still isn't some nerves, but within reason, just something that fits to your budget, like what your marketing budget is, if you have one, because you don't need one, and what your time is and your availability, and not what your goals are, whether you want to flip out 1, 2, 3 houses a year, or if you want to flip 100. Like, it's all different. It's all customized to you. So I'm so glad that you said that, because part of creating that plan is kind of working alongside someone, or just somehow finding that plan that fits for you. But once you have that, you gotta stick to it.
Yeah. Well, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
You gotta like what you do. And from an investment standpoint, I learned this years ago too. There's a thing called investor DNA.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like we're all kind of bent towards certain things, right? So one thing isn't for everyone, right? So there's a lot of different ways to invest. You got to really find what works with you, and if flipping's it, if you love doing that stuff as part of what you do, it's kind of like, it's like someone who's a math teacher all day and they do tutoring on the side.
Yeah.
They don't make more money tutoring than they do on their regular job, but it's easy. That's easy. That's in their wheelhouse, right? But they found a new niche, a new market to go work in. Similarly, if you're building homes, you're remodeling homes, you're working in homes, like, I can do all this. I'm that guy. So this is an ideal avenue for you to run in, because you were already comfortable with the work. That doesn't fear you. You just got to figure out the money side. How does the purchasing and the finding go?
Right? How does that work? And not only that, like your audience is a lot of tradespeople. They're familiar with it. That doesn't mean when they're older and they don't want to be working with their hands and working as hard as they do, that they have to. They could still hire it out, but at least they'll know. Like, I don't do any of the work. I'm an advocate. That is not my strength. I don't do any of that. But I've got great people that I work with that do know how. And if you're in the trade, you already know how to supervise them and manage it. And that's how you can make even flipping a more passive thing. Like, if you could spend an hour a day or a half hour a day on this, to looking for deals, analyzing deals, and then managing the deals that you have. I mean, it doesn't have to be all that time intensive if you don't want to do a ton of deals. So
you got the connection. You can bring in the subs to do the work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're already, basically you're a GC already. You may be, or you're some element of that business. So, like I said, I love it because I just think it's an amazing vehicle for one, but then it aligns well with my audience, right? With what I do and everything else. So we look at these things, we're like, wow, this is really, my thing is to encourage people to start making these moves, because I'm going to go a little odd, not odd, but a little conspiracy-ish right now. But you see these huge investment companies, whether it's BlackRock or Vanguard, they are buying property like mad. Okay. They are owning this stuff, because I got to be honest, we're heading towards a rental society.
It sure looks that way. Yeah.
So let's be on the right side of that.
That's right.
It's like, if you think AI is going to take over the world, start learning AI.
Right.
Like, how can I how can it be an advantage for me? I'm not afraid of it. I'm like, how do I use it? How do I use it and do it for good and help it build my business? But this is the same principle. Like, let's be on the good side. Okay. Like we used to tell our employees, well, just remember, I signed the front of the check. You signed the back of the check. So let's just keep things in perspective.
Right.
When you're talking smack to me. Okay. So I got the real power here, but same thing when you own rentals. Okay. Like, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean, or in a mean way. It's just, there's power there, man. There's security in this stuff, so let's talk about that a little bit as they build a portfolio. Again, it's one house a year, 3 houses, 5 houses. Next, you have 20 homes. You have 25 homes. My great grandfather that owned the entire block.
Oh, how cool.
Like it was like, I think 24, 25 homes.
Wow.
On this block. And then he was doing like, rent to own stuff, and he did all that. And then people would default on that. He'd get the house back.
Get it back.
Kind of kept that whole thing going, but it was really, and I had never met him. He had died before I was born. But like, you start looking at this, go, wow, this really, like that was in the 40s and 50s and stuff, 30s, these people are doing that. So it's not some new thing.
No.
But like, what does it look like when you start to kind of really develop that portfolio and then the applications for that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I watch people shift, and I've seen guys go from like, oh, that's a cool idea, to doing a couple. All of a sudden, it is a full-time gig.
Yep.
If you want to make that transfer,
Yeah, if you want it to be, it absolutely can, because it gets addicting. It's fun. It's like, even when we're a little bit shorter on cash, like we've got a whole bunch of flip deals going right now. We're about to buy another one. I got to figure out how I'm going to pay for it, because gosh, all of a sudden there's some good deals coming out there. My wife's like, hey, Scott, what do we do? I'm like, hey, how about just one more? She's like, that's what you said last time. But how do you not? Like, you can make it, like this one looks like we're making over $100,000 in profit on it. It's like, how do you just turn that away? You could keep it, you could flip it, you could partner with someone, you could raise money. I mean, there's so many options. Even if you don't have a ton of cash right now, there's a lot of people out there that have money that don't have the time or the expertise. Right. And then if you're the ones, you're already in the trade and you can kind of manage the project, you find the deal. What an incredible value that is to people that maybe a little bit older or are super busy or just don't have the inclination. Like, you do the work, or you manage the work, you find the deal, you sell the deal, and they put up all the money and you split the profit 50-50. And what a great way to get started and to build up some more of a nest egg to get going with too. So there's many different ways. So don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, or that it doesn't work in your market or your neighborhood or for your specific type of person, or like, that's all BS. Like, not to say that it's going to be easy, but you can do anything that you want to do if you're willing to put in the time and energy. And I'm telling you, for this, it's not even like a sort of thing where you got to quit your job and burn the bridges and get started. Right. Just pick up out a time that you're able to set aside every day if you want to do this. And if it's an hour a day, okay, set an hour a day. Turn your freaking phone off. Stop scrolling on Instagram. Wake up an hour earlier and just set it aside and laser focus. Do this. And you do that over time, you're going to win. You're going to win.
Yeah. I've got a friend here, and he does this stuff too. You're talking about other people's money too.
Yeah.
He's doing even some new builds. Other people are putting up the money. So hey, it's 1.2 million for the home. Okay. They put that up. He guarantees them 12%. On their money, which is better than the market's doing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. They own the home until he sells it. Right. And then deal's done. He pays them. He's got that on he goes. He's making money. Now he's got that home. So like I said, there's so many ways, but
there's so many ways. Yeah.
Like in my area too, you can pick up homes here for $50,000, $60,000, $80,000. It's
my gosh.
Yeah, like it's nuts. And you can literally drop 20 in those and sell them for 140.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to move out. I'm going to move out to you. I can do 500 deals a year.
Yeah. It's crazy. When I first came here 15 years ago, Scott, it was like $40,000 home, like 40,000 for a home. Like,
it's a car. I had
a $210,000 tear down.
Right. Our average house, I live in Reno, Nevada, which if people, isn't necessarily known as like a glamorous place necessarily, but our average home price is $600,000 here now. Because we're so close to California. It's wild. It's just wild.
Nuts. It's nuts. And they're doing a lot of turnarounds and some flips and really cool stuff here as well. There's different areas, but you see these opportunities, and that's what people need to understand. Like, the opportunity is kind of everywhere.
It's
There's
everywhere.
different levels and everything else, but it's everywhere. You're not really ever priced out.
No, there's pluses and minuses to everything, right? So you're in an area where it's cheaper. There's pluses to that. There's negatives to that. I'm in an area that's more expensive. Maybe it's a little bit harder to get into, but if the appreciation, and probably is going to appreciate dollars wise more than in the Midwest or wherever else. Like, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a guy here doing stuff in Texas. So we're in
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
that too.
Okay. And
Yeah.
he's doing homes in Texas. You're like, there's no boundary kind of here. Here's a cool one. Okay. My son's in Albania. Okay. We're talking Albania, right? If you don't know anything, you probably don't even know what Albania is, but he's in the Marine Corps. He's an embassy guard there. And stuff.
God bless him. Yeah.
You go watch the videos and what an amazing country.
Really?
And the homes. Oh, do you talk Airbnbs? I'm telling you, Scott, you check it out. You can get stuff for pennies. And an Airbnb you're renting for $40 a day.
Wow.
And they're nice.
They're nice places.
That's where the economy is. You get a full meal for like $5.
Yeah, I love
sit
it.
down.
I love it.
But and it is up and coming.
Yeah.
Like you look at where that's going to be in the next 10 years, because they were communist up until 91.
They're just getting going. Yeah.
And I'm going there in September. Okay, so I'm gonna be staying in
up
a
couple
places.
properties. Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, the opportunity's there.
Good.
Like, it doesn't matter where you're at, but I'm like, and it's a beautiful place to go.
That's the problem. There's so much opportunity. I have to listen to my own message and be like, okay, Scott, you're going to buy properties in Albania, or are you going to?
I'm testing you, Scott. I'm testing you.
Okay. Yeah. You almost had me there.
I'll give you a full report when I get back.
Okay. I look forward to it. Yeah.
But I'm just saying that that's the versatility of this.
Yeah. It just, no matter where you are or what you want, maybe someone lives in Albania, or maybe somebody wants it or has family there. And that's okay. Well, you can figure out how to do that.
Yeah, it's really something. I mean, it's so cool. And I love opportunity.
Yes.
Okay. I like finding opportunity. I may take advantage of it. I may not. But if people understand that there's opportunity everywhere.
Yeah. It's so
just,
fun.
Again, people have to live somewhere.
Yep.
Right. So it's pretty much not going anywhere, as they say.
Well, like you there in the Midwest, like people are going to, as everything gets more expensive, and as BlackRock, like you said, start buying these homes at some point, I know it's probably already started for a lot of people. They're going to start going to areas like, hey, I can't do a $600,000 starter house. Right. Like, I'm going to go somewhere where I can afford to get a decent place and I can raise my family. And maybe the winters aren't, necessarily ideal, but.
Well, you know what's really fascinating, Scott, is during COVID. So I know a guy. He was so he tracked electricity. Okay, weird thing, right? But he would say, "Well, where's the electricity going?" Which sounds odd, but when people were moving, they're getting out of the city. Remember, in droves. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Okay, we're getting out." So he would put together prospectuses for energy building plants and stuff like that. Where's the next energy plant going to be? Millions of people, like, you can track the growth, and like, you get something like that, you talk about getting in early.
Oh my God.
On the new up and coming area. I mean, so yeah. We're having dinner. I'm like, I'm just listening. Like, this is so cool.
Wow.
Like, he's just telling me this is what we do, and we track this, and we know where the next up and coming area is. So there's these kind of inside tracks. There's nothing illegal about this, but do you ever think about tracking where electricity is going?
I have never heard. I've heard of different methods, like where the Home Depot is going, where the Walmart's going, sort of thing.
That's too late.
It's too late. Electricity. Gosh, I have to admit, I never thought of that. It's pretty cool.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
Like just go find where they're going to build the next power plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can track that. That's all public stuff. You just and you go, and you're looking a little deeper, like this is the point.
You're doing a good job at getting me distracted away from my focus here.
I got multiple carrots.
My head's going to blow up
and sticks. Yeah, but
just
for the audience, just again, see the options. There's so many options to take advantage of.
Yes.
For yourselves, even locally, even outside your local area. Just figure it out, man. And like, that sounds really cool. I want to do that. I look at Tennessee and it's blowing up. Tennessee is crazy. I got people moving there and blowing up, like this, Franklin, all those areas around there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
getting to that. Wow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that high influx right away, like Phoenix did that decades ago and stuff.
Phoenix
It's
still
kind of.
going crazy. Yeah.
I know, and my family's out there. I left there. I couldn't
Yeah.
do Phoenix anymore. But yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, opportunities everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And that's just a great takeaway to remember. In our businesses too, there's opportunity in our businesses, even if it's not real estate, right? We have either a good or a service that we're providing,
That's it.
right? And we can find opportunity for that. Think about this. If you get into someone, let's say you're doing, maybe it's construction, it's remodel. Yeah, you can do your own flips, but you can also get in with those investors who are doing the flips. Now you're their guy.
Exactly.
Now you got this kind of steady stream of these. They're not the high end remodels. But you're gonna get in, get out. You're
Yep.
gonna do it. You're gonna fill your gaps.
You get
You're gonna
paid,
fill
you
your
get
work
paid on
gaps.
time. That's what I look for. It's like we have reliability. We'll keep them busy. We'll keep them going. And I just have such a heart. I have to say, I have such a heart for the tradespeople because I'm able to sit here in an air conditioned room and talk for a living and be on a computer. I almost feel a little guilty because I see how hard these people work, and I'm so grateful for them. So I do
Well,
like to take care of them.
yeah,
And they're the ones that responsible for keeping all this, keeping all this going. So thank you. If you're listening, my heart
yeah. It's
honestly goes
well,
out to you.
I've designated the blue collar is going to be the new white collar.
Amen.
They're going to be the new wealthy. They
Yeah.
truly are, because whether it's AI, job displacement, whatever, but
Yeah.
what they're able to bring, there's such a shortage of skilled work.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they're building trade schools and doing that. It's going to kind of move, but what I do in my business is I help them prepare to scale because
Cool.
they're going to be able to take market share.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you're not systemized, if you don't know all your profit, if you're not really dialing with your business, it can be hard to grow and
Right.
scale. But if you are, I
My
mean, I'm telling
gosh.
you, that pendulum is swinging.
I
It is
agree.
swinging. These guys are going to be, I'm telling you, they're going to be the new wealthy.
And I think for kids coming out of school and whatnot, I
Mhm.
think, unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, you don't necessarily have to go to college. Go learn the trade and learn how to run it. Go talk to Richard, learn how to run it like a business. Go work under somebody else for a while and then do your own or, partner up or something. The opportunity is incredible. So
Yeah,
don't
and
let
that's
anybody
why.
tell you you're not smart enough or you need a stinking
Oh,
degree or anything like
yeah.
that either. That's bull
Just,
crap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember this: all the A students are working for the C students.
There it is. That's
Okay,
right.
that's all you got to know. Okay,
Well, I think I was like a C minus D student. So
I
yeah.
I was a 1.7 grade point
There you
average
go.
guy, so there you
Okay,
go, and I'm
good.
doing
Yeah.
quite well. So everything is good there. But just that's just it though. But that's why I talk about this stuff, because not only can you get into the trades or start a business, you got to know what to do with your money.
Yeah. Oh, it's so important.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's
Don't just
really
blow it. Yeah. You
it's
gotta,
like, because you're gonna make it. You're
you
gonna
can
make
make the
money because you
money.
hustle
Yeah.
and you do it, but it's got to have a place to go.
Yep.
Okay, it's called Parkinson's law.
If not, it will find a place to go. That's right.
It'll
It'll go to
evaporate.
Starbucks. It'll go to
It's
the
called,
bar.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
All your friends are going to love you as
They'll,
long
oh,
as you got
they'll,
money.
they'll spend it for you for sure.
So, but once you start going, well, the earlier you can begin this investment process. I mean, you might be 3 years in business and you go,
Oh my
I should
gosh.
start flipping homes now.
Yeah.
And you're 24.
Don't.
You
Yeah.
know, like,
Do it. Do it. You do not
yeah,
wait.
I mean,
Do it.
just go. This young guy here, I was just telling you about, that he's a hard charger. I love it. I love to see he's here early, stays late. This guy
Yeah.
is doing deals. I mean, he's going to do nothing but succeed.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch from a guy who went from nothing,
I love that.
okay, to like just building one at a time, another one. He's,
Yeah.
hey man, I'm closing on this house. He sent me
Yeah.
a picture. I'm like,
Feels so
dude,
good.
you are the man. I go,
Yeah.
it's so great to see. Like, I don't know. I love when people succeed. And
Yeah.
when they find these vehicles and they can really capitalize on these vehicles like this, and how you start to exponentially grow your money.
Yep. And
That's what it's about.
I will say, like, partnering up with someone too, like, you don't have to do this by yourself. Like, anyone can do it. Like, information is no longer a thing, right? You can go on YouTube and learn it, but by finding a mentor, they can significantly shorten your learning curve. You could do what can take you years, can shorten it down to months, and just kind of a lot of times give you that sense of confidence to get you to take that step forward, that second set of eyes to look at a product, to run numbers by, help you save money with contractors or title company, like all those things. So we're starting to do that. We launched a coaching business where we're helping people do that.
That's awesome.
Just because I would pay big money to have my current self 20 years ago and say, hey, you know what, I'm not looking to just take your money. I want to help you. Yes, you're gonna have to pay for it, but I can make this a whole heck of a lot easier for you. And in the long run, you're going to be so much better off.
We call it time compression. I do the same thing. I'll take 10 years and I'll put it into one.
For sure. Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah.
I didn't want it my first 20 years. My first 20 years, I didn't want that.
Right.
Because
you knew it all.
I knew everything. Just ask me.
So did I.
Okay. So, and I try to just beg people, please. I tell my kids, be who I am, not who I was.
That's right.
Okay. Like you got this chance to start way ahead of me already, you know, because we got to do it. But if you can get that help, like I said, find a mentor, find the coach, pay for it's an investment in you.
It's an investment. Yeah.
Go to the conferences, find those people who are going to give you the guides and shorten that time frame, and it'll pay for itself.
If you do the work, at 1,000, it will pay for itself and over and over and over again. But it's on. You gotta do your part too.
Yeah.
So,
and here's the great thing about the general audience, how what do you want to call them? Blue collar, the trade service.
Yeah.
We already work hard. We don't have to be taught to work hard.
You've got it in you. Yeah.
That's a huge advantage. It's just a little more work, but we're already working hard. So it's not a big deal. It's like overtime. It's like getting some overtime. You know what I mean? So I always try to put it in those simpler terms, Scott, because it's like, and it's for this period of time. And we do a lot of time experiments with different clients I have, and y'all got the time. I guarantee you.
Everyone does.
As busy as you think you are. Okay. You got the time to do this.
Go on your phone and track how much time you spent on Instagram yesterday or over the weekend. I mean, me too. Me too, honestly. And I consider myself a busy person. I think about this stuff, and still, I got time.
Yeah, I removed everything from my phone, so I don't have that temptation anymore.
Yeah.
But I get to work more. I get to do things, talk to more people and make things happen. So, but it is, we've all got distractions. We all got downtime. We all got wasted time.
For sure.
Downtime's one thing that's needed. That's rest. But then we got wasted time, and it's just one of those things that you gotta, but if you have something to do like this, like what we're talking about, man, that will energize you. You're not going to be tired at 4:00.
No.
Okay,
you'll be ready.
Be keyed up because you're going to.
Waiting for 4:00. Let's go 4:00 so I can get started on what I really want to do. Yeah, I can work for myself, not for somebody else. Yeah.
Let's go close that deal at 5:30. Let's go meet, let's go close on this. And let's get working,
And once you get that first taste of it too, you close that first deal, you're like, oh man, this is like crack cocaine, man. I kind of liked it.
I didn't die. Die. Look at that. I can keep going.
It's good for me.
It's awesome. It really is. It really is. So I know this has been, I've always been encouraging. I'm an encouraging guy, right? But when I see vehicles like this and combine it when they align with the businesses I work with and stuff, like, it's kind of a must. A lot of my clients are doing this. Some now have property management companies. That's another business they started because they started owning all these homes. Like, well, I got that. Well, why don't I manage these Airbnbs and want to
really good? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you start thinking, like, you watch how it grows. All of a sudden you got this little empire you're creating. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Again, the key word today is opportunity.
Opportunity abound.
There's a lot of opportunity out there. It's so awesome. I love it. So what else, Scott? Anything else we've missed? Did I skip over something? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
No, you're doing great. I just think that we've made it clear, like, there's opportunities available for everyone. If real estate is something that you're interested, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. There's a way for you to do it, no matter how much time you have, no matter how much money you have. Those are excuses, right? You can figure it out, especially if you partner with someone that knows what they're doing, has been there before. Start your research, pick a plan, pick a mentor, and then stick with it. And determine what your goals are. Don't have my goals or don't have Richard's goals. Have your own goals of like what you want. And that's what's going to keep you going, because no matter any endeavor that you do, There's going to be times that you feel like doing it and you're excited and that's easy to take those actions. But there's going to be other times you either don't feel like doing it or you feel like it's not working. And those are the times that you absolutely have to keep moving forward and keep pressing on it and keep making it happen. Because if you only do it when you feel like it, it's not going to happen for you. And then once you do it and you do it through those times where you're not feeling it, you keep doing it. And guess what? You're going to start to feel like it again because you're going to get that call. You're going to close that sale. You're going to make that money. You're going to have that income. And then you're like, man, this is great. And it just keeps you going and going. So it's just that we've said it time and time again. It seems simple. It seems too simple, but it's just the truth is that consistency.
Yeah, it's time under tension.
Time under tension.
Okay, you only get stronger by time under weight, right? You're breaking down those muscle fibers. Business, this side stuff, these investments, this flipping, is the same.
No pressure, no diamonds. You got to pressurize
right.
the heck out of that diamond to get it to shine. Yeah,
you got to go through it, and like you said, everyone you go through is the next step closer to the next one and the next one and the next one, and pretty soon that consistency, that routine, it becomes the norm. And now you're the guy. Now, speaking of that, you said you started coaching now. So how can people follow you? How can they get in touch with you if they're looking to have maybe you and your company help them? What would that look like?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is to hit me up on Instagram. I'm at real, REAL then my name, Scott Durham, SCOTTDURHAM. And we're doing even a 5-day flipping challenge. We're not holding back any secrets. We're doing free one-on-one coaching for 5 days to see if it works for people and see what they think. Take it and run with it. If you want to keep working, that's fine. If you don't, you have enough, go for it. But we're really just trying to get the message out there and really help people in your audience, like the people in this business. Gosh, again, we have a heart to help these people. So anything that we can do to help, we'd be happy to.
Well, that's awesome. That'll be in the show notes, everyone. You heard it. So good, Scott. So much good stuff. We're going to end on this high note. So I'm still kind of keyed up, even though it's not the 3 cups of coffee I had. I know it's talking about this. It's good, but this has been really, really valuable, and I appreciate your time today. And everyone else, check out Scott. Get in contact. If you got a 5-day, man, test this thing out. What's better than that?
Yeah,
that is a minimal investment. Okay, with your time, but see the possibility. If you've been on the edge thinking about this, like it's always, he did it. Like
you can do it. You can.
You can do it.
I promise.
So just do it. Just at least begin the process and look at it. Reach out to Scott here, talk to him, see what this is all about. You've heard it here. This will make sense. And man, it's for your future. It's for your family. I mean, these are tangible assets.
Indeed.
They're the best kind.
Yeah.
They're the best. Bitcoin's cool, but
Well, and you can't go buy, I'll say this real quick. You can't go buy Bitcoin, use a little bit of knowledge and experience and get 30% off Bitcoin. You have to go buy Bitcoin at whatever the spot price is today. You can buy real estate at the right opportunity, 30-40% off, and be up money day one. Where else you can't do that in the stock market. You can't do that in Bitcoin. What else can you do that? You leverage some expertise that you have. So
it's so awesome. So awesome. Well, Scott, thank you for your time today. This has been amazing. Really appreciate everything you brought to the show. And for everybody else, we'll see you on the next STS podcast.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to Sharpen the Spear podcast. If today's episode helped you think sharper, act smarter, or see new profit potential, do me a favor. Share it with a fellow home service owner and leave a quick review. Ready to find the profit hiding in your business? Head to sharpenthespearcoaching.com and book your free profit discovery call today. And until next time, keep sharpening.